folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on that little one of the bracelets that I was telling you about with the Dress It Up Buttons micro heart beads. So let's turn down and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so I have placed my little Dress It Up micro hearts, each in their own bottle. And then I also have some little 11-aught Toho seed beads. Now, I did get these seed beads from Jesse James Beads, but when I checked the website this morning, they did not have this perfectly pink mix anymore. However, they do have raspberry, which I believe is this color. So if so this is the mix we're using. And they also have these still, which they say is white, but frankly, to me, they look like they have a tiny bit of a blue cast. So we'll use those as well. Then I have cut quite a few little pieces of 22 gauge rose gold wire. Oops, that was messy. And for this bracelet, I have got this piece of gold chain, and there are 34 links on here, so we're going to want 34 of our little pieces. And I am not going to do all 34 on camera. I will do like 5 or 6 so you can see what I'm doing, and then I'll do the rest off camera because I think it would be really boring to sit and watch me do a lot of wire wrapping. So first, let's get the chain put together, and that means just putting on the lobster claw and the big jump ring at the end. So I have these pieces here, so we'll put that together quickly. Then put it aside. So I already have this big oval jump ring opened, so we'll just put it on one side and close it up. And then we'll go to the other side to put on our lobster claw. Now I like to use oval jump rings because their split is in the middle and of where, let's see, it's right here, so that the gravity pulls the things to the smaller side where the split is not, so that makes them be a little more secure than around. So anyway, when you want to open it, just take hold with 2 pair of pliers and give it a twist. Then we'll put this on the other end, put the lobster claw on, and then we will take hold of it and twist it back. I like to give it a little squish after I get it back to make sure everything's all lined up, but that's not imperative. But anyway, here we go. There's our chain ready to have our pieces put on it when we have those made. Like I say, there are 34 links. I counted them when I got this out. And so we want one of these little pieces for each link. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour out some of our hearts and some of our seed beads. Now I'm going to put the hearts in a dish, but not the seed beads, because I like to work with the seed beads directly on the mat because it makes them easier to pick up. So because we need 34, and there's 5 different bottles here, we need 5 or 6 of each one, and we want some of the more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the Very Perry is all one color, so I may not put as much of these out. We'll just put 3 for now. Let's see how many we need as we go along. Now, some of these are really close in color, so oops. This was came out of Lily, so that would be this one. I keep the tags with the names in it, titles of the particular items in them if I possibly can, so that I can have some idea of what I'm working with. I'm going to put another one of these dark pink ones in here. And maybe another one of the, or 2 of these, and maybe a couple more of the purples. It's called, this one is called Lavender, I believe. So now we'll dump some of our seed beads out. And I'm just going to dump them haphazardly because they'll all match any of the hearts. So we'll just grab whatever comes up first. So now that we have all the pieces we want to work with out, well, we probably need some more hearts, but right now we're just going to work with this stuff. Let's start working. So the first thing we want to do is take one of our 3-inch pieces of copper 22 gauge wire, and we want to take our pliers and place them right about here, and then just bend both sides up. Just grab a heart, slide it down onto here, and if you put it together like this so it won't slide, just lift it so it will. Now slide your finger down against this wire till you get pretty far down. Then grab with your pliers both sides and wrap this around twice. Now pay attention to which side of your button is front and back, because you'll want to cut it towards the back if at all possible. So now I've got the 2 wraps on here, and I'm going to cut this little bit of wire off, being careful not to cut extra. And tuck that wire down. Now that we've got that done, let's straighten up our wire, because you'll notice I got it sort of crooked while I was working there. And then just go in and grab a bead. Doesn't matter which one. Got that extra tail right in the middle of the seed beads. So now that you've got that done, you want to bend your wire over, and then you want to make a wrapped loop. You could make a simple loop here. It doesn't have to be wrapped. I just prefer a wrapped loop. So, and I use my stepped bell making plier. I use the smallest one to make my loops. I tend to think that they are a lot more consistent that way, and consistency is sometimes a nice thing. So then once you got that down there, wrap your round and then trim it off. Oop. And tuck this. Now when you're tucking, be careful, because that little seed bead's glass. You don't want to break it. And there's one done. That looks, let's see if I can get it. So it's just a little heart with a little seed bead on the little, so it makes a little dangle. Now you're probably going, what are we going to make with all of these little tiny things? Well, we're going to make a little Chacha bracelet. So bend again, up both sides, grab a heart, any heart, put it on to this, just one of your holes. Then we just put our finger between these two, slide it down till you get it about where you want it to sit, and put your pliers on to hold both. Oop, I only got one wire there. Okay, now that that's in there, wrap your wire around twice. Now normally when I'm doing a wrapped loop, I do more than two. I usually do at least three, but we don't want these wraps to be, this little thing to be atrociously long. So the way it is, it's going to be pretty long. It is pretty long, but again, we want to bend this sideways, put in our bell making, smallest link of the bell making plier across the top, pull it up and around, let it slide down, and I bent this, so let's get this fixed, and bring it around, and then wrap. Now I have this loop going the opposite direction of most of them. So as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to show you how to fix that. Tuck this bead in, this little bit of wire in. Oop, it's not in. I can feel that definitely. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is sort of wonky. This wire is light enough you can maneuver it pretty good with your fingers. So just wiggle it around till you've got your piece where you want it, just like so. Got it done, so into the dish with it. And we go on to our next one. So as I say again, put your pliers in, bend both sides up, grab a heart, roll the heart down onto this wire, let it drop into that little curve, bring your finger down and push them together, clamp down on the wires, and then wrap this smaller piece around twice. This is the front, so we want to cut it back here. So we cut that wire off and tuck it in. Straighten her out if she needs it. Oop. Go in, grab a seed bead, drop it down to the bottom, then to the top, put your pliers in, roll it around, check to make sure it looks straight up and down, and then wrap. Now, I usually have 3 wraps up here at the top. So there we go with our 3rd wrap. Now trim and tuck. And number 3 is done. So let's do a few more of those, and then I'll do the rest of them off screen. So again, we want to grab one of our wires, straighten it up, take your pliers, put it about 1 inch up, bend them all the way up, grab a heart, drop it on your wires, bring your wires together, cross them, push them down, put your pliers over the top of both wires, holding them in place, wrap the smaller one around twice. Trim it. And actually this needs to be straightened some. See how I've got it a little bit down that way? We want it more this way. So now trim and tuck it in. Oop, got it bent again. That is one thing about this lighter weight wire. It will bend pretty easily, so you have to be careful. And if it does bend, just straighten it back out. Let's grab a seed bead, put it on, bend, get out your pliers, wrap it around all the way, drop it, bring it around. Check to see if it's straight. If it's not, then roll your pliers a little bit so it does get to be straight. And then wrap the upper wraps. And once you have it around to the back where you want it, trim your wire off and tuck it in. Now, as small as these are, you might need to get a little closer to do your little tuck without breaking your bead off here. Okay, and there we go. Number 4 is done. So we'll do just a couple more, and then, like I say, I'm going to go off camera to finish up the rest. So let's grab another wire. Now, I will admit I experimented a little bit to see how best to do these little hearts onto a wire, because I was afraid that if I did them some other ways, there's ways that it wouldn't work. And I did try another way, like going through both of the holes. It didn't work very well. So, though the bracelet I'm going to make tomorrow, I will be going through both holes, but that's going to be an entirely different way of making it. So we won't give you any more hints besides that, though. Okay, this needs to go down a little bit further, I think. Okay, and now wrap. And 2. And as you see, I got it crooked again, so we want to hold it and straighten her. And there we go. Cut the excess wire. Now, a lot of times your wire is going to fly, so you will want to try and hold it some as you're cutting, because I'm by myself, so it doesn't really matter if it goes flying. But they can fly a long ways, so you want to watch for that so that you don't hit somebody with a wire. Okie dokie. Now we've got the seed bead on, so we take our pliers in, bend it over, put in these bell making pliers, go up and around the smallest bar, come back to the other side, check to see if you're straight up and down. If you are, great, wrap 3 times. Then trim. And tuck. Now sometimes you don't really need to tuck too much. You might have got a good clip on it. Ooh, that bit the wire here. We don't want that. So I did get it tucked. So there is our number 5. And we'll make one more before we go off screen. So let's get another wire, straighten her up, bend her, grab a heart, drop her down on, oh come on baby, push the wires together, push your finger down between the two to make the V there, hold them with your pliers, wrap twice. Straighten yourself up here and trim that wire and tuck it in. Straighten this just a bit more. There we go. And then we want to get a seed bead. Looks like this one's going to be a dark one. That's fine. And then we put our pliers in, bend over, get our small loop of the bell making pliers, go in place, bring them around, bring it back down, slide it over, check to make sure it's straight up and down the way you want it, and then if it is, wrap. Now you can wrap with your pliers if you wish. I haven't felt the need to because I'm using thin enough wire that it bends relatively easily, so I'm not too worried about it. So anyway, once you have your 3 wraps in, then you trim that off, being careful not to get your loop. I have done that before. It's really heartbreaking. And then tuck it in. Okay. Now if it's not straight, you can always straighten it with your pliers. Just sort of make a little adjustments as you need. So there we have 6 of our little heart pieces sitting in here with our chain. So I am going to do one more here on camera, and then the rest of them are going to be off, because I don't think you want to sit and watch me wind up 34 of these. So straighten her out, put in your pliers about 1 inch up, bend both sides up, grab a heart, put one of the holes down through the wire, drop it down in there, curve your wires together, bring them down so that they come together. Sort of, can you see it? There we go. Now just grab that spot with your pliers and wrap twice. 1 and 2. Now, because this always seems to bend your wire a little bit to the back, you want to just take it and straighten her up some. And then trim this little bit off and tuck it in. Okay, now we want to get a seed bead, so we'll just grab this dark pink one that's over here on this side. Drop it down on there. See how she looks now? Then take our pliers, and we want to go this way because we want that circle that way. Then we're going to just bend it over. Take our bell making pliers, the small one side up, because that's where we're going to wrap around. Wrap it around, come around, drop these down, come across, and now look at it. Is it straight up and down? Does it look like sort of like a lollipop? If so, that's great. You're ready to wrap. If it's not, just straighten it up until it gets there. Then you wrap 3 times around. This one's a little far down. There we go. Pull your pliers out. Cut this tail off. Being careful not to cut your loop. And then tuck in this tiny tail of wire. And there we have one more of our little hearts. Okay, so I will be going for a bit. I'll be back when I've got them all wound up. Got all 34 wound up now in this little dish. I have some small oval jump rings, and we have our chain out. So the next thing we need to do is just hook one of these to each one of our chain links. So we will get started doing that. So we say open your jump ring from side to side. Grab one of these. I'm not going to pay attention to what color it is. I'm just going to grab one and hook it on a link. Now if you wanted to make a pattern or something, hey, that's no problem. That's your business. I'm just decided this one would just be simpler, just to simply hook on whatever comes out of the dish. So again, we open our jump rings from side to side, hook on our heart, and hook it onto the next link, and then close it up. And we're just going to go down the row like that until we have every one of the links having a heart hooked to it. Now when I was designing this, I was debating putting something else along with these, and I still may do so if I find like a small bead or something that I think would look good, and just do a single bead that would hang. One would hang with the little dangles on each one. And you know, it's one of those things when you're designing and making something, you need to look at it yourself and go, yeah, does it need a little more? Does it need a little less? And make that decision. And if it does, and if you decide it does need more, well, then you just give it more. Whatever you want to give it, be it beads over more of these little guys. And if I do it, I'm pretty sure it will be a bead, like a purple or a small purple or small pink bead. But I would need to decide that as I go along. And I probably wouldn't decide it till we got all the way to the other side, and then we'll see how it looks. If I decide it does need another, then we'll put on something else. Let's see, that one already has one in it. Let's see, where's this last one hooked at? When you get to the back, the very end one, since we've already counted and know how many of everything there is, if you have extra links, you'll know one of them's got 2 in it instead of just 1. And if you have not enough links, you'll know you skipped over a link accidentally. So now, since these are going in every link as opposed to every other one, sometimes you'll find that you've got one going to the top and one going to the bottom, and that's just the way it's going to end up being. So I wouldn't worry about it. So just keep going till we get all of our little hearts on here. And then we'll take a look at it and see if we need to add anything. Now I know that they do make a tool where it will hang your bracelet up, so you can just work in the air, which would make it probably a little easier to make sure you have one of these in each link. But now, if these were bigger items, I'd probably only put them in every other one so that they'd be in the chain in the same direction of all of them, so that none of them would be hanging in one direction or the other. They'd all be hanging the same. But because of the way this is, we can't do that since we're doing one in every link. So here we go so far. Okay, just a couple more left and we will have all of these on. Okay, that is the last of these. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to get one of those tassels out. We are going to hook it to this ring right here. So let's open up the tassel package. Get one of these out and hook it on to our closing ring to give it a little bit of oomph there. So open up our jump ring, put on our tassel, and then go to our ring here, put her on, and close her up. Now our bracelet can be done, or we can decide if we want to put some more beads on it. It's actually looking pretty good. So I'm crappy at putting bracelets on myself, so I doubt if I'll get this on, but as you can see, it will look like this. And there she is, all done. Get yourself over here. And there's our bracelet. All finished, unless I decide to put on some more little beads, but I'm not sure that it needs them. I rather like it. It's cute and fun and saucy little thing. Sure in here. There we go. And jingle jingle. So it turned out pretty nice, and I think we like it. Anyway, I think I do. So here we go. There's our bracelet. Okay, now our bracelet's done. It's a pretty little thing, very colorful. And you could, actually I was looking at this and I thought, wow, that would make a cute little necklace front too, or even some earrings. So anyway, there we have our bracelet. We'll hook that up. And I hope you enjoyed making this with me. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, making a really cute little Cha-Cha bracelet using micro hearts from Dress It Up buttons. So we'll see you next time. I hope anyway. Rose from In Rose's Garden. Bye-bye.